What's going on, everyone? So the Los Angeles Lakers absolutely embarrassed themselves last night. I mean, LeBron James talked about it. JJ Redick talked about it. It's inexcusable. This is something that is becoming a regular occurrence for the Lakers at this point, right? They're not just losing games; they're getting smacked, right? And even the games that they are winning against the bad teams, they're like squeaking by. And there is this growing sentiment of like, oh, the Lakers, the players don't show up, and JJ's lost the locker room and all this stuff, right? Like, no, no, it is. I mean, I even defended Darvin Ham last year. Talked about like, I don't care how good or bad of a coach you are, right? The players have to show up. It's up to the players to execute. JJ Redick is a better coach than Darvin Ham, but Darvin Ham also wasn't the sole problem. A lot of people thought like, oh, Darvin Ham is the issue. No, he was a issue, but he wasn't just the issue. The issue is the overall roster. This team just isn't good enough. At what point do we stop going like, oh, they're not giving an effort, and start realizing that, okay, they're just not good enough? It's not an effort issue. It's a talent issue. Now, Anthony Davis, on the other hand, that is an effort issue in my opinion, right? There is no reason, no excuse. That was inexcusable last night, that game. It wasn't even just that he had a bad shooting night. Because, look, bad shooting nights happen. Everyone has off nights. I mean, LeBron's had, stretch of off nights. But it's the way and the effort and energy you play, right? He had 8 points, 7 rebounds, 5 assists, 3 of 14 from the floor, 0 of 1 from three-point range, 2 of 4 from the free throw line, 1 steal, 3 fouls, and was a minus 29. Minus 29. He was our highest minus on a plus-minus on a team where everybody was like 20 plus. Anthony Davis was terrible. And he was matched up against Kevin Love and Bam Adebayo. Don't get me wrong. Bam Adebayo, he is an excellent defender. He shouldn't be in the conversation to slow down Anthony Davis should have been barbecue chicken for him. This guy all of a sudden can't make free throws. Ever since that Orlando game, it has been a mess. And I talked about it, right? I said these are the games that can come back and bite you. People told me, Tyler, it's just one game. Don't freak out. You're over exaggerating. And now look, one game has caused this team to literally spiral. Anthony Davis can't make, ever since he missed all those free throws, he can't make a free throw to save his life now. LeBron James was, up until this game, a disaster, right? I mean, the guy couldn't buy a shot to save his life. Even this game, he finally made a 3, but even him, right? Like, the 5 turnovers continue. Like, this team has not been good since that night, right? I mean, they should have lost to Utah, if we're being honest, right? Like, they should have lost to Utah. But thank goodness that coach dump trucked and ended up costing them the game, right? We have literally lost, 6 out of 8? That is ridiculous. Ridiculous. We're almost back to 500. We were 4-4, and then went on a 6-game winning streak, and now we're just trying to match it, right? Like, we're just this roller coaster. Anthony Davis is supposed to be your best player. He is supposed to be the leader, the star, all of it. And he didn't even show up. That, to me, was a lack of effort from Anthony Davis. That was a disaster. But the rest of the team, I don't think it's a lack of effort. I just don't think they're good enough. They're NBA players, so on any given night, they can, Austin Reeves can have a 20, 25 point at night, right? D'Angelo Russell can have a 20, 25 point night. Rui, we've even seen go give you 20, 25, 30, right? Like, we've seen all 3 of those guys give you, a good night. But just because they can do it any given night doesn't mean that they can do it every night. That's the problem. You don't know which guy's showing up, if any. Right? Like, you don't know what Austin Reeves are you getting. Are you getting the 3 for 12 Austin Reeves? Or are you getting the, 10 of 12 Austin Reeves? Are you getting the 3 of 12 D'Angelo Russell? Or are you getting the, 10 of 12 D'Angelo Russell? Same thing with Rui. Like, these guys, they're not athletic. When they're not performing offensively, they're essentially unplayable because none of these guys can defend. They're not athletic. So they give up a bunch of second chance opportunities and lose balls and all that stuff, right? Like, at least, when you look at some of these teams, right? And some of these teams have had close games. Some of these teams have not shot the ball well at all. But they have the athletes, right? So they can, get out in transition to create offense, right? Like they can, chase down and get second chance opportunities because, teams are just jacking up a bunch of threes against the Lakers. And then it's like, okay, I just got to win a foot race against D'Angelo Russell, Austin Reeves, and Rui Hachimura. I can do that. And then, the ball goes up and those 50-50 balls, teams are winning those every time. It's not because, lack of effort. It's because they're not athletic. They don't have the foot speed. They don't have the talent, right? They don't have certain things that are needed. Like some of these teams, when the offense isn't cooking, you can lock down defensively, right? You can impact the game in other ways. What does Austin Reeves impact when he can't score the basketball? Nothing. Doesn't defend, turns the ball over. He doesn't handle ball pressure well, right? So if Austin Reeves isn't cooking, you're not really getting anything out of him. D'Angelo Russell, if he's not shooting the lights out, what are you getting from him? Same thing. He can't defend. Right? You don't need his playmaking as much based on the style of offense we're running. Right? He doesn't defend. He's not athletic. Same thing with Rui. Rui slotted out of position. Right? He's rebounding better this season overall, but he's not a great rebounder. Right? Doesn't have athleticism. He doesn't have the things necessary for you to impact the game in other ways. And until the Lakers pull something off to where they're able to get some guys that can impact the game in other ways, this is going to be a norm, right? Like we're a good team. We're not a great or contending team, right? We're better than the bad teams. We're beating all the bad teams. We're beating all the teams that we're supposed to beat. But anytime we play a team that is like half decent, right? And it's not like Utah or anything like that, we're losing every time. And we're losing in like horrific fashion. It's not even like, it was a hard fought game and they just got us. Right? No, it's literally horrific fashion. Right? Like you lost to the Heat by 41. Right? You lost to the Timberwolves by 29. Literally back-to-back games, you lost by almost 30 or more. You had a tight game against the Thunder. You lost by 8. Right? Suns, you lost by 27. The Nuggets, you lost by 25. You had a hard-fought game against the Magic, which is the game that I talked about, right? Since losing to the Magic, they have lost 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 out of 8 games. They played 8 games, counting the Magic game, and have lost 6 out of those 8. And since that Orlando loss, they are losing by an average of, 22 points a game? It's ridiculous. Again, they're not losing. They are getting blown out. They are not even competitive. It's not even a conversation. They're not even in they're not even in these games. So how much of it is effort? Or this team just for 2 straight years has had an effort problem? This team for 2 straight years just refuses to produce production-wise? Or is it that just this team isn't good enough? And we need Rob Pelinka to pull off some trade. Now, look, that doesn't mean that you just get a trade done just to get a trade done. Lakers need several pieces, right? Like, you can't trade all your picks right now to go get, Cam Johnson, right? Because Cam Johnson by himself, it would make us better, but it's not making us so great now we're a contender, right? Lakers need, I think, at least 3, 4, like, mid-tier pieces or 1, like, higher tier, like a Brandon Ingram, a Zach LaVine, something like that, and then, like, 2 kind of mid-tier pieces, right? Don't underestimate the value of, a quality move or 2. This is basketball. One guy by himself can make a huge difference, right? Look at, like, Dallas last year. You go get, you have a team in Dallas where it was like, are they even going to make the play-in again? They were struggling. They were looking bad, right? All of a sudden they go and they pick up Daniel Gafford and PJ Washington. Not even guys that are stars or looked at as like these great elite players or anything. No, they looked at it like, oh, that, cute little pickups. And they were huge for them. Completely changed the dynamic of that team last season. And then Derrick Jones Jr. emerged and he started being a legit two-way guy, right? Like the little things. The Lakers a couple seasons ago, right? You go and you trade and you land Jared Vanderbilt, D'Angelo Russell, and then Austin Reeves has his emergence. All of a sudden you look up right? Because Malik Beasley was unplayable. Mo Bamba was hurt the whole time, right? Like, it was literally like 2-3 guys. It was Austin Reeves having his emergence, and then D'Angelo Russell and Jared Vanderbilt really having an impact on this team. And you look up, and all of a sudden, you're in the conference finals, right? So, again, don't underestimate the value of, like, quality move or two, but we need to get something done. Lakers need to get, like, a piece or two. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion, and I pass question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel? What are your thoughts? Do you agree? Do you think, like, yeah, it's a talent issue? They just don't have the talent. They don't have the players needed to compete and contend. Do you think, no, it's just, it's effort issue? You think it's a combination? You think it's effort and lack of talent? That's not a good combination. I do. I think it's a talent. I think they just lack the talent. I just don't think they're a good enough basketball team. And, again, I could be wrong, but it's been, again, year and a half now that we've seen this problem. Are they really just not showing up 60 games out of they're only showing up for 20 games a season? Like, no, I think it's just, they're just not good enough. But anyway, again, let me know however you feel down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me out. So we enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.